There's a microphone. All right. Just had to get our sound person on the same page. All right. Oh, I lost my notes. Look, that's my notes. 6 names. That's my notes. I've had a few drinks already, all right? I need notes. All right. Just remember, Geek Show live audience event tonight is powered by BO, the Broadview Arts Entertainment University. Broadview Arts Entertainment University. Remember that. B-A-E-U. BO. All right. Wow, you guys. B-A-E-U. Bew. All right. Hey, it says right here B-A-E-U, all right? Broadview Arts Entertainment University. That's what's on my, okay. I don't care what's behind me. That's what's on my paper. All right. Mentioned only during intro. Oh, wait, that was not supposed to be out loud. During intermission, stop by the BO display table right back there. Wave to the people. There you go. He's going to have hard entertainment trivia for you. You can win tickets to the one-man Star Wars trilogy, RMR events, and admission tickets to the Utah Halloween Expo. So between shows, be sure to go back there and talk to Bo. That's right, that man right there, his name is Bo. Go talk to him. He's going to take care of it. All right. Do we all remember what we practiced? Are we ready to do this? Are we recording? We're recording. Ready? Geekshowpodcast.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our panelists. First up, he's tall, he's ginger, he's a squatch. He's a ginger squatch. It's Too Tall Trill Tony. Coming out next, he's my neighbor. I actually sold him his house, believe that or not. He is the vegan jerky king of Salt Lake City, Leigh George Kane. Coming out next, we've got the man who asks people to help him move and doesn't happen to mention that there's a damn piano that has to be moved, and you're the biggest guy showing up. Yeah, that's me. Shannon Barnson.
Now, to be fair, that wasn't my fucking piano.
All right, coming out next. You know him, you love him. He's got his own podcast that just started up, but you'll find out about that in a minute. Everybody put your hands together for Jay. Where is he? Come on, Jay.
And that's the last time you'll see anybody get cheered for drinking Tang.
I'm a Crystal Light kind of guy.
You are. I love Crystal Light.
All right, coming out next, you see him on. Oh, okay, Jay, keep taking it off. That's all right. I got singles here. Oh, okay, all right. Coming out next, you guys see him on KSL TV. You see him all over the place. You see him on Big Movie Mouth Off. But he's still got a giant boner. Giant boner. Jimmy. Where's he at? Jimmy Martin, come on.
Jimmy Martin.
All right.
Coming out next.
So that's how that works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's going
you
like
throw
this.
your
Watch,
hands
watch.
up.
It's easy. It's like magic.
Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on.
I learned it at Hogwarts.
I gotta see. That's amazing.
Right?
And watch this. If you do two hands. See?
I want to try. I don't know what to do with these.
No,
Yeah, he doesn't know.
You don't know where to put him.
you have to grip it like this.
Okay.
Jay,
Okay.
All right. Coming out next, I've been practicing this. Our admirable admiral.
there you
Hey,
go.
I did it right this time. Mr. Kerry Jackson.
Attention on deck.
Whoa.
the hoedown was starting.
I'd like you to meet Vodka Jesus, ladies and gentlemen.
I like how we always just get new nicknames each episode. Vodka Jesus. Yes. Iceman's lover, whatever. Hey, one more time for Wookie for doing the intro.
Hey, yes,
for us.
Paul Lawrence.
Paul Lawrence.
Thank you.
No, I just got to tell you, my lady Jen had to move last week.
Oh yeah, let's get the backstory there.
And so, yeah, there was a piano involved, but it wasn't a grand piano. That's some bullshit.
It was just a Casio keyboard,
It was just like
really.
a ungrand piano. But that son of a bitch right there grabbed her whole couch and just was like, and just like walked out with it.
Shannon was still sleeping on it. It was weird.
No, I know a lady who writes erotic fiction about him.
Right.
Moving things.
Like people are standing around going, where did he come from?
Yeah. He came from Norway.
It's
No, he's like, seriously, you guys, give Paul a hand. He's like one of the greatest guys I've ever known. He's a goddamn gentle giant if I've ever seen one.
So a sad thing, everybody needs to feel really bad for Paul for a minute. So Paul sold me his house in December. It's a beautiful house. I love the house. And there's this shitty little muffler shop right next door to the house, right? Well, that muffler shop was sold to somebody who's putting in like this multi-huge apartment complex development who's
Are
now...
there going to be shops on the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
fancy.
Of course.
But now all of a sudden my house is appreciating rapidly because they're like, oh, we're going to want to buy that shit. So I'm really sorry, Paul. Thanks for the investment. Thanks
I just
for
hope they update the strip club across the street.
Oh, yeah, well, no, it's getting fancy now.
I thought Shannon brought him up
No,
and you just
seriously.
brought him right down.
They're making the strippers cover their track marks.
Oh, fantastic.
That's a good idea.
That shit's attractive to me. I'm just.
It's my favorite question to ask. Did you have a good con? Me too.
He's like, nope, no, I did not.
Who said no?
Like, you
He
were
was like, nope.
Nah, it's
I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to laugh, but like, I'm sure it's like a serious personal issue. But
Guy's just sitting there and he's like,
yeah, I hope that everything's okay.
I was having
Okay.
fun
Yeah, I
till
mean, it was just I didn't expect.
We survived another one.
I'm awkward.
That's all
You
I
wanna-
can say.
Can we hug?
Jimmy barely did.
Jimmy is barely with us tonight.
that's
If
why.
one more person says I look tired or anything, I'm going to kick him in the fucking dick. Like, I don't care. Leave me alone.
Jimmy, have you ever considered bringing vodka Jesus into your heart?
Is that vodka over there?
Would
Oh,
you
no, but it could be.
Would you like to
they
hear
just they just come out?
yeah, I can nurse you with
Oh
vodka.
God, yes. Okay.
Vodka
I can annoy
Jesus.
you right now.
Oh, look at this.
Vodka Jesus has a message for you.
Yeah, you're getting old.
That hangover's coming. Collect.
Holy water. It's
Yep.
holy water.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Oh, my sacrament meetings are wonderful.
So this is the last night of Salt Lake Comic Con as we record this. I asked you guys last time, and we had just started. Do you have any con stories? Any memorable moments?
I have
or
a
something?
deep found new respect for John Barenthal because he talked about people with PTSD, and he's just you can tell he's genuinely just a good dude.
Such a little guy.
No, he's not.
I was surprised. I was sitting in the audience going, I could take him.
You might be able to. No, that's sitting with him and just talking about the Punisher and God, and that trailer, holy shit.
Can you believe when he revealed the villain for the Punisher series?
What?
Pee Wee Herman?
Oh, what?
Seriously.
That's not true.
Paul Rubens?
No, actually Pee Wee Herman. will
Just
be the
Pee Wee
villain.
Herman?
Yeah.
Does he have the popcorn bucket with the hole in the bottom of it? All right.
So we meet again, Frank Castle.
No more adventures for you, Pee-wee.
I'm a loner, Frank, a rebel.
So John Barenthal's mine.
That's a good one. Anybody else?
I got one.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I was gonna say I love you people so much. I had to leave a Rick and Morty panel about 10 minutes early, and it was the most fun. There were so many Rick and Mortys there,
See, here's the thing.
and there was a Summer, and there was a Mr. Poopy Butthole, and there was a Abraham Linkler there. What? Yeah.
See, I was on a panel in that same room before you guys, and we were doing a Mystery Science Theater, and it was sparsely populated, and it was really hard work.
Ours, we were turning people away
I was
for Rick and
getting
Morty.
nothing from anybody. And then I saw the line for the Rick and Morty
Yeah.
panel coming. I'm like, fuck you guys.
But you have to remember, it said Rick and Morty panel featuring Shannon Barneson. That's why
that's
there's so
what-
many people
Oh.
there.
Yeah.
But actually, my highlight was was kind of a surprise for me.
What's that?
Keith Coogan.
Keith Coogan.
Yeah, I was
Now-
wondering how that was
okay,
going to
now-
go.
Now reset this for everybody,
Okay,
just
so-
in case they didn't hear.
We get offered celebrity panels.
Yeah.
You get
And,
offered celebrity panels.
Jimmy got John Bernthal. I got offered Gates McFadden and Will Wheaton.
Right,
And
and I got,
we
and
did
a lot of people are
those.
going, who? Keith Coogan, he is best known for the babysitting movies,
Adventures in.
Adventures in Babysitting, and
Don't tell mom.
Don't
the
tell
Don't
babysitter's
Tell Mom the
dead.
Babysitter's
Yeah.
Dead.
And Toy
And-
Soldiers.
And
Toy
Toy Soldiers, and actually, I was talking to, he's like a year older than me, and he was like on Knight Rider and like all the shows that we watched. The kid is like,
Did he play
that-
Kit?
I was like, that kind of blow your mind. No, but it's cool, and like his grandpa was Uncle Fester.
Nice.
Huh.
And-
What?
and, like yeah, and the grandpa before that,
Wait, Christopher Lloyd?
no,
I'm totally messing with
the
you.
original one. But actually, his grandpa was the kid from The Kid, Jackie Coogan.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. And he is the reason that there's laws that protect children from child actors who getting their money stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually quite interesting. He's met like everybody.
So did you apologize to him?
For what?
You know, talking shit.
No. Because I didn't do it publicly, Kerry Jackson, you asshole.
Oh, it was just here. He may listen. I don't know. A lot of people listen to this.
He's right back there.
Oh,
you fucked
God.
up.
No, he was great. Actually, it was a really good time.
Well,
Hell
that's a
yeah.
good one. Anyone else?
Oh no.
Jay?
Every single con experience has been wonderful. Like it's good to be back in Salt Lake City, and
Welcome back, Jay.
thank you. The best was just the Sean Gunn panel and with Chris
Oh,
Sullivan.
How'd that go?
That was awesome. I was in with these panels, and I know you guys can relate. It's like sometimes you want to over prepare or under prepare
Oh, I
because
can't relate.
Tony, can you relate?
No, what?
you know what I mean. Okay.
I'm sorry, I've done one, and the guy didn't even fucking show up.
I
so-
get it, and I'm sorry, Leigh. But it's like sometimes you get in your head about
Every episode of Gilmore Girls.
no, and I
Sean Gunn tattooed on my back.
exactly like I was a Gilmore Girls fan, and so I was a little nervous, but because the thing with these panels, like what you guys don't understand is like, or may not know, is just the fact that we maybe get like 2 minutes to talk to them for backstage.
This was
And then you have a real life conversation for the first time with them in front of 4,000 people.
This was the conversation.
Or 15.
Yeah.
Let me just give you an example. So Gates McFadden arrived on time, and I got to meet her properly. Will Wheaton was late. This was my conversation before we went on. Will, hi, Kerry. I'm your moderator. Let's go. That was the conversation.
Yeah, and you just have to feel them out on stage and just kind of like hope for the best. There was a part where I almost like was like, oh shit, I think I may have overstepped my bounds. Let me withdraw a little bit. But it ended up being really fun. They sang together at the end.
Ooh.
And for those who don't know, Sean Gunn, who played not Kirk. I'm trying to remember his character, Cragley and
Craglin.
yeah, Cragley and Guardians, and then Chris Sullivan's Taserface. And so the nicest guys. Taserface Chris brought his brother Brian, who's a real estate agent. I love that guy. He's awesome. like they're super nice. But then honestly, I did a Harry Potter panel and that I shouldn't have been on. It was like 5 awesome, intelligent, beautiful women that like were well versed in Harry Potter, and then me wearing a do-rag and a time turner.
Was there
talking about why I hate Dumbledore, and it actually ended up being awesome.
Was there another Jay Whitaker that they meant to have on that panel?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like I was like, but it ended up being cool. And then we did for the first time we did a hip hop and comic books panel.
Oh, I saw the video.
And we had like a little freestyle cipher at the end, and it ended up being awesome. Tui was on it with us, and DJ Juggy, who's the DJ for the Salt Lake Bees and Utah Jazz, was there. It was an amazing experience. So like I'm happy, and seeing just everybody. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
My favorite is because you mentioned about the time, like, you know, backstage, if you have enough time to either talk to him or anything like that. My favorite memory ever will be, they're like, oh, Kate Beckinsale came in. And then her manager came up and she goes, will you go talk to Kate because she's kind of nervous.
You're like,
you know,
what?
And she goes, kind of nervous. She's never really done this before. Like, can you talk about what you're going to talk about? And everyone in that room, all jaws on the floor, you go, yeah, Jimmy, go talk to Kate and calm her down.
But now
I'm upset now because I didn't know this information.
But Elektra was supposed to be on with John Bernthal.
She didn't want to do it.
She was nervous.
She was nervous. And they called me 10 minutes before, and they go, Elodie's not going to come. And I go, why? And they go, she's nervous. She doesn't want to be in front of that many people.
Isn't that amazing?
So,
Anyway.
yeah. She's human.
Yeah. Lee, did you?
I pitched a panel that I didn't think anybody was going to bite on. I was like, I'll just sit in front. I was joking, just so you know. I'll just sit in front of the room and paint a miniature. Ha ha! So they put it on the schedule, and and the room was full. And then
Exactly.
to top
I love that you packed it out because I've watched you on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's it's entertaining
Who's been
as
watching
shit.
these
The
videos of him
numbers.
painting the miniatures?
Lee painting miniatures numbers are huge.
it up. Please don't compare me to Bob Ross. He's a fucking hack. No, seriously, I went to art school, and the first thing they teach you when they teach you painting, like painting 101, painting landscapes 101, Bob Ross is a hack, is literally written on every blackboard in every college in this country. The guy was a shit painter. He may have known how to paint for real, but after he got his system down, it was kind of like, I'm just going to puke on this canvas and people will buy it.
I know what ghost is going to haunt you now.
It already does. But it already does.
He's a happy little ghost.
It haunts me every time. Every time I do a live painting video and people are like, oh, he's like the Bob Ross of miniatures. I'm like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
I know.
But he's so soothing.
Yeah, well, I do try to talk something. So the room is packed, but the technology, I've said this to a few people, but the technology used to project onto the big screen kind of made it.
It's called an Elmo.
It's
I
called
have one in
It's called an
at the
Elmo.
Sev.
Right. And the resolution on it was so sharp and crisp, it looked like one of two things. Either 2 turkey legs with a chopstick trying to change the color of a piece of pizza.
So you're saying
Or-
it wasn't sharp and crisp.
Right. Or a very poor bootleg of a 1982 Italian porn on VHS.
Little do you know, they're the same thing.
But the crowd was riveted.
It's weird because I found your tape in the forest.
Leigh, it's all about the eye contact. I've always found.
There was a lot of that. So I took live questions, and because of that, we launched GSPC Tabletop on YouTube today.
Nice.
That's so awesome, dude.
That'll be something we'll be doing paint demonstrations. I'll take answers from people if you want to know how to up your game with miniature games, anything like that.
That's great.
I'll show you the world.
All right. And Tony was on a panel this year.
Yeah.
What?
So
He's all grown up.
Long overdue.
Grows up, grows up, grows up.
But he didn't make it past Iowa.
It was called My Beard is Getting Out of Control.
Hey, Tony, I've recently started using beard oil.
yeah, beard oil, beard balm. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
it's
I-
great,
I
huh?
tried to turn you on to that.
We should smell each other's beards later.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
Well, when we're alone, of course.
That's how geeks are made.
How did it go?
It was good. They actually got me a name tag.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Tony Eccles got a name tag, people.
Wait, they're missing some of your names.
Well, one is good enough.
Okay.
But it was good. It was You've Died of Dysentery, video game choices, and how they affect your character or something like that. But it turned out real well, actually. Excitable James was on it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, there's Excitable James and his lovely wife. Give him a hand.
Alexa.
And we had a really good time talking about dysentery for an hour.
Y'all talked about.
That was like the whole thing.
Basically.
Y'all just talked about diarrhea for an hour.
Yeah.
Well, little known fact, that's how the Jordan River was created.
It's I
It's
think
just full of diarrhea?
Oh, they're like, this is the place to shit a river.
Oh, all
They
right.
didn't finish it. They ran out of ink.
I just
They
like
didn't-
that. I just like that. Like one extra fart could like lead to you dying, like on the Oregon Trail. To me, that
Yeah.
I banned my kids from that game because they're playing it. They would always, my daughter was like 7, and she would name everybody after everybody in the family. And of course, Leigh always died first. I mean, and always in like this horrific way. Like the wagon got loose and crushed Leigh. And Leigh lingered on painfully for 3 days before he died of gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea. You got that from a wagon wheel?
No, somebody is obviously a wagon wheel
Where'd
fucker.
that wagon wheel go, man?
Hey, that wagon wheel's been in some shit.
That wagon wheel's a whore. Okay.
excuse me, you can't catch it from a wagon
oh
wheel.
shit!
So, Kerry, did you see some shit?
my bad.
No, I had a-
I'm just
I had
surprised,
a-
brother.
I had a great con. All of my panels were terrific, except for that Mystery Science Theater one. And I blame myself for that, because I really came unprepared for it, so that was on me. Thank you. Thank you for the Jesus juice.
We had Kerry and I had a great panel this morning. It was the movies of 1982.
Is that yours?
And I said it was a great fucking year because it's the year that I was born. But I said if you could do a reboot of any of those movies, what would you choose? I said Gandhi.
Wait.
Or how about Gandhi 2, The Revenge?
Oh, UHF already sold that.
Gandhi, the hunger
It would
strikes
be interesting.
again.
It would be interesting to see Gandhi played by an actual Indian, though.
Oh,
Oh, Sir Ben.
you're talking about a guy who's been knighted.
You guys actually
Yeah,
had
I'm
a
talking
panel
about a
together?
guy who's not a fucking Indian.
He's also not the Mandarin either.
Guys, why the fuck are we talking about Gandhi? That's
What is it with Ben Kingsley playing people that are not his race?
It's fine.
You know why? Because
He's that good.
The check cashes every time.
He's gonna
Exactly.
he's going to play Frida Kahlo next, you know?
No, Jimmy and I did an early morning panel. Before I tell you about the panel, let me tell you about what happened before the panel. I arrived, talked to the moderator, sat down. Jimmy showed up right at 10 when it started. Now, we both had late nights
Yeah.
because we were doing some drinking.
Get fucked up!
Yeah,
Big shout out to Hotel Monaco.
thank you. And
He says late night. I was patrolling till 3. You're safe because of me.
That's true. So Jimmy arrives right at 10, comes up to me and goes, "Hi, I woke up 15 minutes ago." I give him a hug and, yep.
Yeah. I smelled great.
But the panel was 1982, the greatest year for, they said geek movies, but I got looking at the fucking list. There's a ton of great fucking movies that were in 1982.
There's Tron.
MacGyver.
There's Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
There's
MacGyver.
Creepshow.
E.T.,
E.T.
Wrath of Khan,
Yeah.
Blade Runner.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. All in one year. Seriously, go IMDb 1982 and look at the list of fucking movies. You'll be amazed.
Yeah.
And that's the year he was born. That was the year I graduated high school.
That was the year I discovered D&D.
And that's the year I was plotting my escape from my father's testicles.
Jesus Christ.
Like you were writing like diagrams in the balls?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right, I'm going to go left.
Head straight down the vas deferens. I took anatomy in high school.
Yeah, you did.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, Tony. Anyway, but Blade Runner was released in 1982, and we got the sequel coming up very soon.
It's Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Actually, by the time
The revenge.
because this episode's being released on the 2nd, it's out by now, right?
I think.
Or
Yeah,
soon.
I think that. Yeah,
Very
give or
soon?
take.
All right. 6th. So it'll be at the end of this week. In
I'd-
time.
I think Harrison Ford's just killing off all his old characters.
Well,
I think he's tired of this shit.
so he
He's
doesn't
like,
have
I'm
to play him anymore.
Yeah, they'll never get me to do another one of these movies.
So much for Mosquito Coast 2, you assholes.
It's funny because when I interviewed him for Star Wars, everybody's like, "I heard he's a curmudgeonal fuck," and I go, "He was kind of joyous when I think in his mind he's like, because you don't know that I'm dead, and I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm out."
He was joyous because he just had his applesauce and a lap dance.
Isn't everybody joyous with the applesauce and lap dance?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to this curly-haired freak. I just had some applesauce and a lap dance.
Is-
Goddamn Kylo Ren.
Is that a special at the strip club you live close to?
Look, when you're that age, it's the special every day.
Applesauce and a lap dance.
Callista was warming his shawl in his shawl oven.
Like, what do you call that? An applesauce and a lap?
A good time.
Yeah.
I'd call I'd call it a rotten apple.
Oh, what?
Oh, I
Callista,
like that.
Callista comes in. She's like, "Is your wheelchair comfy?" And he's just like, "Beep."
If she's rough with it, it's a bruised apple.
Jay, maybe it's Jay, maybe you could call it the early freak special.
Oh,
I think it would.
only before 5 p.m.
I think that would qualify as an apple tart.
Oh,
Yes,
Wow.
Listen,
yes.
Wow.
Listen, honey, before you do the dance, you gotta lock the wheels on my chair.
I don't want to roll away.
Just for legal reasons.
and don't let your tassels get caught in my earring.
Fucking earring.
Ally McBeal doesn't wear tassels.
Oh, you assume Allie was giving the dance. In my head, it was
What's his
somebody
wife,
else.
right?
All right,
No.
I gotta get this
Yeah, it
over
is.
with. Wheels almost
Well,
on.
yeah, but that's not who's getting a lap dance.
Okay, fine then.
They're leaving right now to go get applesauce.
Sorry.
Applesauce.
Go to Costco. The things are bigger.
So Harrison Ford. Last year, Ryan Gosling told GQ that Harrison Ford punched him in the face while filming Blade Runner.
You know why? Because he's fucking Harrison Ford.
Now, they confirmed the story with Harrison Ford. He confirmed that it happened, that it's Gosling's fault.
Well, of course.
Because
He put his face in front of my fist.
Because Gosling basically couldn't get the tassels to go in opposite directions.
Dance for me, kid. Dance for me.
You
Harrison
gotta work
Ford's
on
like,
that.
Hamill could do it, you pussy.
You gotta work on it. So here's what he said. I punched Ryan Gosling in the face. Ryan Gosling's face was where it should not have been.
That's gonna be my excuse in court.
But you got to say it exactly.
His face should have been there. Get off my plane.
Your Honor, I shot that man because Ryan Gosling's face wasn't where it should have been.
It's a lengthy interview, and you can look it up online with GQ. Ford, he described how it all happened. Shooting an action sequence, Gosling, Ford pushed him aside so he could put his hand in. Apparently, he hit him so hard that Ford had to put his hand in ice.
Jesus.
Well, he is old.
He's 87.
No, but still,
Say-
I like to imagine that he falcon punched the shit out of him.
He's more just fragile.
His knuckles turned to dust, and Ryan just went, "Oh, that was
Right
uncomfortable."
before he connects, you just hear this.
His knuckles turned to dust, and Ryan Gosling sneezed.
It's like, more applesauce, Mr. Ford.
So here's what he said. The whole thing was 90% Gosling's fault because he did not get out of the way.
What a gracious lover.
His
Callista's
job,
the reason she doesn't come. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I do here.
Just tip your
That's
hat.
my job.
you broke
Broke Jay.
You broke Jay.
Can't get it up. She didn't give me a good enough reason.
His job was to be out of range of the punch. My job was also to make sure that I pulled the punch, but we were moving and the camera was moving, so I had to be aware of the angle of the camera to make
There
the
were
punch
so many things moving.
to make the punch look good. You know, I threw about 100 punches in the shooting of it, and I only hit him once.
So why are you
I guess
bitching?
1 out of 100 isn't so bad.
Yeah, that's 99% accuracy.
Right?
You know, Chuck Heston's sitting up in heaven going, what?
Right.
I connected every time.
As an apology, Harrison Ford brought a bottle of scotch to Ryan's dressing room.
And then hit him over the head
And
with
then
it.
broke it over his head. This looks delicious, doesn't it?
His head was in the way.
You know he's not.
I'm the original Blade Runner.
All Ford
Get
did,
off my movie.
All Ford did was pour Gosling a glass, and then he left with the rest of the bottle.
That asshole.
Well, you know Ford hasn't lost it yet because if he's any older, he's just going to bring him a bag of cough drops.
So he walked,
Or
he walked
applesauce.
into the room and went like this. Enjoy it, you bitch.
He poured him a shot and then took the bottle away.
And you know what he said?
That's the equivalent of walking into somebody's house taking a shit on their carpet.
It's like
it really is.
it's like a quarter. It's a quarter inch in the thing.
How do
It's
you
like-
have such reference?
Wait, so you're saying Harrison Ford, Big Lebowski did? He
He did.
took a Kiffin and took a
Clean
piss.
that up, kid.
Now, when
I'm the Blade Runner.
when he was asked about this, Harrison Ford's only reply was, "What? Did he fucking expect the whole bottle?"
Wow.
You punched the motherfucker in the face.
He's lucky he didn't get punched more, is another quote.
You expecting half a glass?
I'm just nervous because Ryan Gosling just got cast in the remake of Witness. So,
Is he playing the little Amish boy?
yeah.
Two
All
fingers.
grows up. He's all grows up. And
This is his story.
Two fingers of whiskeys for closers, you pussy.
Wookie, where's our portable microphone? Because I want to turn over to audience questions here in a moment. So be thinking about what you'd like to ask the panel.
Why do you guys hate Harrison Ford so much?
We don't. We're afraid of him.
Exactly.
I've got a question. Can I get a vodka soda with a lime? Is that possible?
That's what I'm drinking. It's delicious. It's
Is it
refreshing. I feel like I'm a part of something.
So
And ice. That's right, Egg.
no, James, you're selling. James is selling special con-exclusive T-shirts, as you can see.
James, are you selling vodka?
No.
Oh, damn it.
So the exclusive shirt says Geek Show Say Hey. My exclusive shirt says Geek Show Say Huh?
Right, because we're getting it up there.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
That's been pointed out
I mean,
online.
at any given time, I might hit you and take the bottle.
We're getting up there in age. We're like, what the fuck is Geek Show?
So Wookie, you got the mic? If any of you have questions, raise your hand, and Paul will come to you.
Oh, it's like Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you for specifying, because last time you didn't say two, you just said on. And
All right.
One more time for Paul Wilkie. Like
Thank you.
seriously.
Right.
Like,
Wookie of the year.
the real reason why Elodie couldn't make it to that panel.
Why?
She's running with Paul.
What'd you do?
No, she's like Electra. I was showing Electra the ropes. It's all like how to jump. between buildings.
I'm not sure what that's about.
All right. What's our first question? What's your name?
My name's Tyler.
Hi,
and-
Tyler. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
What's
I'm
your
doing
question?
fine. Thank you for asking.
Put your face closer to the mic, Tyler.
Sure. Sorry.
Thank you.
I know that Mr. Jackson has a lot of admiration for Hunter S. Thompson
Yes.
and his ability to wake up, do substances kind of throughout the day, And my question is, if you could do any substance with any comic book character, like LSD with Professor X or pot with Batman, who and what would it be?
Adderall with the Flash.
There you go.
I want to down 36 ounces of Robitussin with Jesse Custer.
Oh.
Is it the character itself, or is it like the actor who plays the comic book
No,
character?
the character.
whatever
the
you
character.
like.
Character.
Whatever you
yeah,
like.
character.
I got mine.
I'm gonna say shrooms with Doctor Strange. You?
Meth.
Not even once. Not even once.
No, at the Republican National Convention with Wolverine.
Let's get Tony and Leigh here.
Oh, I already
Wow.
went.
Did you?
I already went.
Oh, you did. That's right, Tony.
Oh yeah, Robitussin. I think
He's
I,
like
I think
aspirin with.
no.
Bo-
I would do. You would have custard with Captain America. That's what you would do.
Well, I was
You're that wholesome.
I was actually going to say ice cream with the tick.
That's a Mormon drug, ice cream, everybody.
Jimmy?
Heroin with Dr. Manhattan.
Oh.
Why not?
Wait. Is he wearing? Is his blue dick just swinging?
Well, we're going to see who can swing further.
I think
Fair
it's
enough.
him.
Yeah.
I
All right.
respect that.
All right. Who's next? You decide, Wookie.
Great question, by the
All
way.
right. That is a good question. Hello. What's your
Hi,
name?
I'm Skylar.
Hi, Skylar.
Yeah, I've been around. So I don't know if you guys are aware.
We
but
are.
The end of the world is today.
I heard
it
about
got,
that.
It got moved to October.
I heard
We got
about
like-
that.
We got like,
Yeah.
What, like 4 hours left?
we got like 4 hours and 17 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was moved.
You better get that Jesus juice in now, fellas. 'Cause
All right,
it's just
everybody.
getting crazy.
Everybody get it in. Let's go.
You are in the vicinity of vodka Jesus. You are safe. You are safe.
Well, I'll just say.
There's a dome over
I'm not
us.
saying the afterlife's going to make a lot of sense, but you'll be well taken care of.
Thank you, Lisa.
I hope you enjoy
And
soy
just in
burgers.
case, for our listeners that are listening to this episode on a Monday, congratulations, you made it. Welcome to the
made it.
resistance. It's us now.
Yes.
P.S. Stop.
we didn't get raptured.
Not us.
P.S. Stop cooking fish in the microwave, and also you're fired.
I know the rapture's not coming for me.
So what's the question?
So hypothetically speaking, if it was the end of the world today, what would be the last movie that you would want to watch before it all went
Pixels.
Shut up.
Fuck you.
What is wrong with
So like it make you
I'll
appreciate.
see you guys in hell.
You're like, this movie's gonna make me appreciate death.
I would finally watch The Godfather, and that would be my last text. Would be to Kerry.
Get him, Kerry.
Finally
Get
watch
him.
The Godfather. What a piece of shit.
I would say it's a tie. It's a tie. I'd sit through all of the Left Behind Kirk Cameron movies. Just in case.
Just for background knowledge.
Yeah, just like, all right,
see-
this
I
is
can
what I'm
see-
gonna have to go through.
Here's Jay watching him going, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right.
Your,
And he's
your,
at.
your first, 10th, 16th, and 32nd note is going to be, there's no black people on this.
Exactly. Like we just left. That's the black version of Left Behind. Is left behind.
Yeah, well,
Left
maybe,
ass.
maybe their absence means all the black folk got raptured.
Oh.
They went to heaven.
Yo,
Sitting
that
on
would
the
be
seat
a
of
dope
God.
song. No, and
Tony?
the other movie would be Dogma. Just
Okay.
just cause.
Tony.
I really want to see that new Blade Runner movie. So that's what I would go for.
And the director's like, sorry, it's not out yet, but you gotta go.
See, like me, I would just like watch a certain part of Wild Things just over and over and over again. until the demons came for me.
Like in Ghost.
Or until the demons came out of you.
And I gotta add one
Over
more.
and over again.
I gotta add one more. I'm sorry. Judge me if you will. Bobby Starr at boundgangbangs.com. Yeah, that was a great scene.
Wow.
There we go.
That's specific.
Huh?
Very.
One that I'd watch.
It's a really good show.
Two movies I can watch nonstop if it's ever on: The Goonies and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah.
Well, if it is the end of the world, I would put on the 10 Commandments. And I would not only Mystery Science Theater it, but I'd still, every 5 minutes, go, this is bullshit.
Invite me over.
Join me.
After I'm done, like, with 3 viewings of the
Join
wild
me.
thing.
Don't invite Jay though after his bang
No.
weird shit.
It's just, it'll be a mess.
It's a respectable website. It's an LLC. It's a family company.
An LLC.
Oh, sure.
That's not what
I own an LLC. That doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
what LLC means.
Yeah.
That doesn't smell like family.
Oh.
Let me write that down.
I'm just saying, just because you watched Faye and Lexi share a dick 15 times in a row doesn't mean you own Faye and Lexi share a dick.
I'm just all about coming together.
I like
Okay.
you guys are just.
Everyone likes to come together.
Our next question. Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
And he always has such
Everybody,
beautiful
it's Maddie
hair.
Jacobson.
Please stand up, yes.
Okay, real fast. I did a panel. It was like clean flicks, like.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
Maddie, you fucking crushed it. You're the only reason we
No,
won.
you crushed it. Oh my God,
Bullshit.
but I was so drunk, it doesn't even matter. Okay. All right, so now I know you guys have been oh my God, sorry, I'm drunk again.
Seems to be a theme.
Never apologize for that, Maddie, ever.
I know you have been asked this recently, but I thought we should get an update.
Yes, I fuck Iceman.
Iceman?
Me
I take
too.
Shannon Tatum.
I have. No,
Oh,
but that's a different story.
Jesus.
Okay. So, with all of the reboots going on, what do you think is the property that should be rebooted, and who should it star, and maybe who should direct it?
Great question.
God, we're like putting a whole production together.
damn.
Harry and the Hendersons?
Go on.
Can I be Harry?
Absolutely. So I got my lead star here. Directed. What? Directed by Ginger Squatch?
No.
No, just
He
have
doesn't
him.
play
I'm Harry.
Ooh, God, who would direct it? Martin Scorsese.
I think it's time one of the greatest situational comedies of the 60s get relaunched as a movie. It's time. It's a sensitive subject. It's a subject people are really yearning for. It's time that Seth MacFarlane relaunches Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I'd actually be on board with that. No, yes, I'm on board.
I want a situational dramedy about prisoners of war and their wacky Nazi captors.
And also, just so we can see that there's good and bad people on both
Right,
sides.
on both
right?
sides. On both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides.
And I really
I mean,
I
that's
really
really
want-
what that show is all about.
right. And I
Trump
really
just loved that fucking show.
Schultz was a lovable character.
He knew nothing. He knew nothing.
He
I want-
saw nothing.
I want Schultze to be played by Vinnie Jones. Because, he's like 8'30", and I want when he's
That's
standing
not a
there-
real measurement.
When he's standing there saying, "I know nothing," I want it to be terrifying.
I know fucking nothing.
Yeah.
I
I
can't
kid nothing.
I can't stop thinking about the conversation that when you asked that question, which is a great question, by the way, and I'm trying to think of a serious thing, but all that keeps popping in my head is from the conversation I had with Jimmy the other day at Kat's booth. Remake Mac and Me with Paul Rudd and Conan O'Brien because it's like we had a great conversation about that, and that's all that was the first thing that popped up in my head was like. You gotta remake Paul Rudd and you know what I would actually do the second movie I would do Straight Outta Compton, but with these guys
Wait.
as NWA, and I get to be Jerry Ryder.
Wait.
And I'm like Easy-E. That'd be so fucking
know it.
awesome.
I just want you to know, last time I went to Compton, I
can't
went
even
to Compton.
The last time I went to Compton.
Seriously, I went to
Okay.
Compton about 2
I've been
years
to
ago.
Compton too on accident.
No, I went to Compton. I got off the freeway because I was lost.
Right.
It's like LA's changed a lot since I was a kid. I went to the store and I was like, "Hey, how do I get to Van Nuys? And the guy's like, oh, it's right over there.
Quickly as
And
possible,
no.
they said.
And so then I bought some gum, and the guy said, here's your change. Have a nice day. What a rough time I had in Compton.
Yeah, exactly. You got, by the way, Compton, I live in LA
It's a
now.
city in
It's
LA.
just fine. It's just fine. But like, I honestly, just so you know, like, yeah, that's what I'm pushing for. I would be Jerry Reiner, the white guy that screws NWA over, and like, you guys would just be NWA. That's my movie right there.
Shannon.
All right, Jay, I'm gonna flip
Straight
it.
out of Custard. There
Oh,
it is.
I hope you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
Jay, I'm gonna flip it.
God.
It's your first major motion picture.
Yeah, because my
It's
first.
the remake of Soul Man.
Oh.
That's not where I thought you were
I
going
almost
to
thought you were going to
wait,
say.
wait,
I'm
were
just
you
glad you
start
didn't
on-
say Soul Plane.
Okay, now just real quick here. If you're listening to the podcast and it's Monday, hit pause and now go to IMDb and look for the plot points for Soul Man.
And go,
Really
Holy
covered.
shit! How did this movie happen?
Well, it was so sensitive.
yeah.
It really was really sensitive.
Yeah.
It handled some very sensitive issues.
So Jay, but here's the thing: you start out in whiteface,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you wash off the whiteface with
Which
the
takes
drug
a
or
long
whatever.
time,
Yeah.
actually. I have to exfoliate
It's
the
like
whiteness
it's a-
off of me.
It was a really touching film about race relations.
Do I get to wear pleated khakis in this?
Of course.
Indeed,
And
we're gonna.
you
it's
can wear
gonna be a
corduroy.
period piece. It's
I
gonna be
feel like I get a
period piece.
shopping spree at Izod.
And
Okay.
actually, we're gonna do a shot by shot remake of the whole
Oh.
goddamn thing.
There we go.
I fucking hate your brain right now.
Are you going to go back and have him reshoot? Oh, never mind.
I just want the Muppets to take on Schindler's List. I think it'd be great.
See, this is how Jimmy Martin and I think alike because I was doing the same thing with Reservoir Dogs.
Just Miss Pig.
Wait, who's
Just Miss
Mr.
Piggy
Pink?
down in the shit. Just like, oh no, this is awful. You know,
Who's Mr. Pink and who's doing
Terrible.
the stuck in the middle with you dance?
Oh, definitely Scooter. Scooter is so
Scooter is
Mr. Pink.
yeah.
Scooter?
I just can't wait to hear.
I think it'd be Ratso.
I just can't. Kermit playing Harvey Keitel's part. It's
I think we just have Harvey Keitel in there.
No, I can do it. Here, hold on. Harvey Keitel, played by Kermit Frog, in the back seat.
Yes.
Don't you die on me, man.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Don't you die on me, man.
Say it.
Hey, say you're not gonna die.
So-
Oh, boy.
So if that's Kermit, but then instead of having another Muppet with him, you'd have Charles Grodin sit there dying like Mr. Orange.
No, Mr. Orange. I think Mr. Orange would be Beaker. I think Mr. Orange would be Beaker.
Yeah.
He'd be lying on the ground in a puddle of, in a puddle of blood. Yes, in a puddle of blood.
Who would be the big gangster guy? Sweetums.
Sweetums would be the big gangster guy. Yeah.
I think
No,
Bugs.
he's like, no, you can't be Mr. Yellow. Mr. Orange is on yet another job. Right?
See, I think Bunsen would be Mr. Blonde, like
Dr.
dancing with a knife.
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
Here we go.
Hello. holding up Beaker's ear. Hello. The cop's here. Hello.
Is this working? Oh
Is
my
this
God.
working?
We need to go make a movie
so. so
and
many-
get
Disney.
sued horribly.
I think it's time to bring back Alf.
Oh.
And
With you as Alf.
What's scary is he
Sure.
wants to bring it back with less cocaine.
I think it needs to be directed by Taiki Waititi.
If you bring back Alf though, he better eat a fucking cat
I
right,
wanna
right
see
in
it.
front of the camera.
There's going to be some changes. He's
Yeah.
going
Because
to
I
eat
don't
the cat.
fucking buy it. I never saw him eat a cat.
Nope.
He always threatened. Never actually did. Let's take another question, and then
That was a
let's
great
see.
question, by the way.
Wookie, you got right there.
Ladies
Hello.
and
The
gentlemen,
Sheena
it's
Van Cott.
Sheena Van
It is.
Cott.
Hi. So I'm gonna try and bring it down a little bit, and I apologize.
Uh-oh.
It's all good.
Okay, well then speak right into the microphone.
Speak right into the mic,
Get-
Sheena.
You guys know what you mean to me. I've
Aw.
expressed it a lot recently. So you've all inspired me in some way to shoot for the stars and do what I've been dreaming of doing my entire life, which is get into film and TV. That's what I'm
Good for
doing.
you.
Do it.
We love you.
I want to know who your inspiration was for whatever it is that you do that you love, and whether it's comic books or TV or film or radio. I know Leigh's done that. Kerry does that. I mean, you guys all do podcasts. Who was your inspiration?
Honestly, and this is I hate saying this and without sounding like such a sap, but all of these guys.
Oh.
I mean, like.
Stop it, Jason.
No, like.
Well,
I mean, it's.
Jay, let's talk about what's going on.
Yeah,
I think this seems like a good moment, and then we'll get to the rest of the answers here. And all right.
We had a good talk last night.
We
know,
did.
just briefly, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now without these guys. Like, I was brought on the show because Leigh missed a day, had to work at the restaurant.
Oh, it's my fucking fault?
No. No, but I mean, like, and it became what was an opportunity became family, and I look at these guys and what they've done with what this show gives them. You know, Shannon has an awesome pub quiz that he runs at Lucky 13. Jimmy's.
Well, and can I say also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, think anybody in here who has bought a book for my kids for my birthday?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Right.
I've got like $1,000 worth of books. Like it's
Right.
amazing.
And Tony has started like a podcast and just done so much, and Leigh is like with the restaurant and with his miniatures
And his jerky.
and Jimmy with
And my ADD.
and Jimmy with Kat and Jimmy and Kat like just dominating as this massive power couple, and then Kerry just at the helm of it all, and then even excitable James and Alexa, like you look around, like you surround yourself with people that are constantly pushing forward and that make you want to be the best version of yourself. And like, I don't have to look at celebrities or other heroes because I'm working alongside these guys, and these guys are why Kerry said it from the start. You're going to have to take another step that you don't want to take, and I took it based off his word and my son's, and that's what pushed me like over the edge. And it's scary, and if it is scary, fuck it, because I thought I was gonna die at 25. Swear to God, like I saw a statistic that the average black man will be dead or in jail by the time they hit 25. I am 34 years old, and I'm living my best fucking life right now.
Well,
So
I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I want, and I know the type of people that I want in my life. And it's because I work alongside incredible people that are constantly pushing us to push each other. So, that's
well, and also, can I just say, I just want to say, if you're not a little scared,
yes,
you're not living your life right.
Right.
You should always be a little scared.
Thank you. So what's going on with Jay? Thank you. Is he's moving to Los Angeles because that's where he needs to be, because that's where everything happens. Now here's the deal: is that he's not quitting the show, he's not being fired, he's not.
He didn't storm off in a huff.
He didn't storm off in a huff. Sorry.
I see what you did there.
I love the Big Bang Theory. I don't know what you guys think.
I think it's bullshit. I'm out of here.
Like Prophet Elijah, we're going to continue to have a chair at the table waiting for him all the time. But in order to pursue the career, to be the Jay Whitaker that I know he can, he has got to be where the entertainment is happening, and that's in Los Angeles and Hollywood.
I
it
just
really
hope
is
to one
there.
day be your turtle.
That's what I told him. I said, we're coming looking for work to you someday, I'm telling you.
Well, one of the coolest nights of my life, and I told this story last night, is I did a set at the Comedy Store right on Sunset Boulevard, the place I've always wanted to perform at since I was a kid.
Legend.
I did it. This was like 2 years ago. And who was in town? Fucking Jimmy Martin. Jimmy Martin was in town being Jimmy Martin, and he met up with me at the Comedy Store. And then it was here's the weird part about it. we were like, so what are you about to do now? He's like, I'm about to do this. And I was like, I'm about to do this. And we didn't hang out at all. Like, we didn't hang out at all. Like, we were just like, but that's where I want to get to the point where I'm just in Hollywood and I don't want to hang out with Jim anymore.
Oh, wow.
I'm just fucking with
Don't touch me.
So what Jay's gonna do
True colors.
is when he can, because I know he'll come to visit his son and everything. When he can, he'll be in the basement with us to do a show. When he can't, he's gonna send us a little promo, and we're gonna put it in the podcast every episode, and it's gonna direct you to
this lovely T-shirt that I have on sale, 1 for $25, 2 for $50.
Wait,
I love
that's the same price. I'm a T-shirt.
No, that is a bargain. You got to buy two.
Yeah, you know.
How many for 4?
Math.
$100.
and so the name of the podcast.
The name of the podcast is Incredibly Vocal Minority. The Incredibly Vocal Minority podcast. If you guys don't know where it kind of came from, it's kind of me trolling certain people and then expressing myself. 2017 has been a year that I found out more about myself than I wanted to know, but I'm glad that I know. And yes, we're getting woke as fuck right now. Woke.
Well, I think if you're not an idiot, like honestly, like we've all looked inside ourselves and looked around the world and just go, holy shit.
Yeah.
Right?
The person I looked up to is a film critic that is no longer with us.
Yeah.
And
God damn it, you're gonna do it?
his name's
Everybody.
Gene Siskel. Oh. And I'm totally fucking with you.
Siskel?
Everybody.
That's why all your reviews are so fucking rhymey?
Everybody.
It's Jeff Michael Weiss. And
raise a glass right now.
It's one of those things where like I looked up to him and he had it, you know, and so I mean I'm not gonna start crying or anything, but
Gentle lover.
Yeah.
Well, you guys weren't doing it right then because he fucking tore me out.
Oh.
I mentioned Jeff in the rap, so
In
he's
the rap.
always remembered.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Good
a good
job.
one.
And God damn it, he should be here.
Yep. Sorry to bring the room down.
No, it's okay.
No, you didn't bring
Love
the
you, Gene
women.
Siskel.
Gene Siskel. Okay, I'll be.
You want to go next?
May I?
Or if you want. All right.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
If you need a minute.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Carrie,
No.
you have no idea.
Hey, you
God
took
damn.
mine.
God damn it.
Well, but here's the thing. They want us to
With
kiss so
Shannon,
bad.
kiss.
With tongue or without? I mean, what are you looking for?
I love Kerry Jackson so much. I started calling into the Radio from Hell show. I think I was 15. And I was Shannon the Amazing Sewer Boy. And I would get up early, which, if y'all know me, I don't get up early, right? And I would call in probably, 3 times a week.
And I would talk to this guy, and I go, this guy is so fucking funny. I gotta meet him.
Right. And we did meet, and like inspired me to be like,
What the fuck, Leigh?
no, and like like this is like a beautiful love story. So fuck off. No, but here's the thing, though. No, like
You
I would call,
you
I was
folks,
like it was the first time.
you folks listening on the podcast are missing it. The video is available on YouTube. You'll have to watch it. 'Cause
No,
we got
but, like,
cameras going.
It was the first time I ever started writing bits. That's right. Right? Like I would actually
remember.
sit as like a 15, 16-year-old kid. I'd
remember.
write bits. Oh my God! These are my cereal or
I remember.
yeah, and I loved it. And then like my mom and dad would let me cut class and drive down to the like Bill would not. Like when Bill needed a day off, 16-year-old me would come and co-host Radio from Hell.
Which my attorney says that today is a very bad idea.
Sure, it was a different time.
He's just your ward. That's
But
all.
That's it, my youthful ward.
Yeah.
Make sure Aunt Harriet's here to make sure nothing
And-
goes awry.
and I loved it, and I like. It's what I always felt like I wanted to do, but I love that I have this now.
Yeah.
Right? Because it lets me have that outlet where I can
Speak on it. Speak on it.
This isn't the real me, you guys. Like, it's sort of the real me, but it's like the shitty me. Like, if you watch the Rick and Morty episode where they sucked all their bad shit out.
I will call
It's
him
me.
shitty me.
But it allows me to also be an educator until I get fired for being on the show. And,
That's the only thing.
but also, it's like it's afforded me to do so many things. Like, without this show, I wouldn't have survived the worst year and a half of my life. I wouldn't have, like, you guys have no idea, like, going and putting this awesome library. Like, I have a better library going into my school, into my classroom, than my school has a library. And
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that's
Like,
because of you guys.
it is. And like, seriously, you guys are the best people. Like, our fans are the fucking best
Absolutely
people.
the best.
And we'll hop up and help you out
Absolutely the
in a
best.
heartbeat.
I
Tony.
fucks with y'all.
Tony.
Well, I was serious when you said you stole mine. It was Kerry as well.
Right.
So when I started to finally care about media and stuff early in high school, I would listen to Radio from Hell and think, these guys are really cool. And then I found out Kerry did Geekshow, and I was like, because that was back before it was a podcast.
Yeah.
It was just
You
broadcasted.
did it on the radio, yeah.
And I wanted to be on the radio too, and I'm just like, man, that Kerry Jackson's got it figured out.
Which is true.
It's because he didn't have kids.
That guy's the coolest guy ever.
Have you seen his lifestyle blog? It's
I need
amazing.
one. I need one.
And so I went to school for it. I got my bachelor's in broadcasting, and before my senior year, I interned at Radio from Hell for a summer.
Yes.
And it was freaking awesome. Finished up my degree, and then actually got hired at what was Simmons Media at the time.
Yes.
And
It was when the bad people were in charge.
yeah. And as a result of that, the vacancy opened up for the producer, and I was just like, oh man, that would be cool. And Kerry's like, comes up to me and he's like, hey, we have a spot open. Would you like to do it? I crapped my pants.
You did too? Okay, I just want to make sure.
But dude, you stepped in like a goddamn boss.
But see, hearing that he was nervous is
Right.
I didn't.
You
get
had
that.
no idea.
I had no idea.
Oh,
I
man.
thought Tony was like, I got this.
I was just like, Kerry Jackson wants me to be on Geek Show.
Oh,
Oh my gosh!
You walked in like you owned the place.
You
and
did.
You've been
Absolutely.
absolute asset to us from day
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, I love it that you and we always kind of have our own secret show.
Our sideshow, yeah.
We're like, I just look at you and go,
Yeah.
Leigh.
This is going to sound a little weird. I grew up in a time where we were pretty sure we weren't going to make it as a species, as a race. We thought humanity was going to wipe itself off the planet.
what do you mean
Apparently,
today?
apparently we're dying in 4 hours. So
No, I'm just saying that this.
speed it up. Just kidding.
So, as a kid, like 5, 6 years old, I was pretty sure we were going to get nuked off the planet. And that leads to a really nihilistic preschooler. Really super nihilistic preschooler. So I couldn't sleep, and I would watch monster movies all night. One night, like midnight, Channel 13 in Los Angeles, this movie called Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. was
Ah,
in it.
yes.
And I watched that movie as Neville's running around scrambling, trying to make what he can out of what's left of the world every day, trying to scramble together some food, some sustenance before the vampires come and start clawing at his door every night. And I thought, fuck no. I'm not going to be this guy who lives my entire life being an accountant, punching a clock, doing some bullshit job that makes some other asshole money every single day. I have, at 47 years old, never worked a job for more than 5 years.
Bam.
Some people would say, wow, that's a failure. My wife's laughing right now.
I love that he knows that laugh without even looking.
Exactly. But no, seriously.
No, we like that when we had dinner together, like
We
on your
had-
birthday.
yes.
On your birthday.
We had dinner, and Leigh listed every job he's ever had, and I was fascinated.
It was like
and
85
surprised.
fucking jobs,
He
you
just
guys.
listed. He has done everything.
This poor woman who's over there right now, she's going to need her inhaler in a second.
But a
this
good-
poor
a-
woman spent 25 years of her life just going, when are you going to fucking settle down?
Jesus Christ.
a good friend of ours.
Yeah, settled on jerky. I think that's going to be your end game.
It could be the thing.
I want to see this conversation because a good friend of ours counts. Goes, I have listed all the jobs that Leigh has said he's done. He goes, I think he's 107 years old.
Yeah. And Jamaican.
Right?
You got 2-minute jobs, man. You got 85 jobs, man.
It's so true.
You're working too hard, man.
Guilty and no cause. But really, what the root of that is that I see this with a lot of millennials, and I'm really actually kind of enamored with the younger generation right now because you guys don't put up with any shit from the man.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. You guys are just like, oh,
Well,
wait a
Lee,
second.
that's why they're just terrible.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. If you got those old crusty boomers that are sitting there on the hill going, oh, you millennials are ruining everything. One, fuck you. Gen X did it first.
Yes.
Two,
Yeah.
you guys have got the world by the balls. You're like, punch a clock for 40 hours a week? Fuck you, I got a
Bullshit.
concert this weekend.
And exactly, but honestly, that's what I love so much about Salt Lake, just any Comic-Con in general. What the coolest part about it is you walk around and you see all these vendors and all these artists, and motherfuckers took a goddamn chance to have some balls and some fortitude and some ovaries to fucking just come forward and just do their fucking thing.
And that,
Dude, hustle.
And that's
that-
right. And
that
that's
is
what I love is
hustle.
the
I'll tell you what,
fucking
the-
hustle.
The Martins.
Woke bitches, woke.
The Martins. The Martins are the perfect fucking example of this.
They are.
Hustlers, they do quality shit, and they get paid.
Mother.
And that's what it is now, right?
I don't like to toot my own goddamn horn. So
I tooted it.
I'm going to answer the question, but I want to end. Could you find me a funny thing to end on?
Yeah, find a funny one.
Find us a funny question to end on.
You say that though, but God bless you guys, because Kat has put her heart out there with her art, and you guys support the shit out of it.
Yep.
And thank you. Like
But it's-
people that just come into the booth and they just lose their shit. Even like little kids, they're like well,
It's so awesome to watch.
little
the
kids shouldn't know Rick and Morty, but it's fine. I totally understand. But just I sit there and just in awe of my wife. I think she's talented and I think she's amazing. So.
Well, and just before we take the next question, when it comes back to me,
That was a high kick for Kat Martin.
Is she here?
Kat, are you here?
No.
No.
She's fucking working probably.
Probably.
I have been brought to tears several times this last week with the book support.
Yeah.
Like, it is amazing. And honestly, this show is helping change young lives.
Well, then the person,
Whether they know it or not.
then the person that you need to thank, and I'll end this with my inspirations. The person you need to thank for this podcast, no shit, is my wife.
Well, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She is.
Because it was Suzanne that was like, when are you going to start doing this on the podcast?
Because she's the one who said to me when I was talking about doing this, she said, "Why don't you get off your fucking ass and just do it?" And it was.
She
it
said,
was
bring all your friends but Leigh over.
so you need to thank my wife first of all for this podcast.
Because I didn't even know what a podcast
To Mrs.
was.
Jackson. We love you.
I didn't even know what one was, and you were talking to me about it. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, and it was
It's like
when-
a goddamn radio show on the fucking internet?
That was when me and Zach were talking about it, and I was talking about it with Sue, and she's like, "Well, yeah, you could do it here." And I'm like, "Really? Are you sure?"
And
But
she endures a lot
She
for the
endures
last
a
like
lot.
She really does.
So she is the reason that this podcast is happening. No shit, absolutely. As far as inspiration, you guys know most of mine. Andy Kaufman.
Oh,
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Captain America, Captain Kirk.
All the captains.
All the
Captain
captains.
Crunch.
Captain Hook,
Captain
Captain Crunch.
He helped. The good doctor,
He
Dr.
also
Hunter
loves
S.
quiz.
Captain Caveman.
Oh.
And all of it. But honestly, these days, as you all know, I have no children by choice. People.
That pull-out game is strong.
The term childless is thrown around, childless, and I occasionally slip and use that term. The real term is child-free. But what has happened is that natural paternal instinct has kicked in, and I want you guys to know that when I call you son, that is not diminutive. That is because I feel that way. All right?
It's like when I called you. When I called you a few days ago.
I'm crying. I'm sorry. That's why Paul needs to find a funny question
It's
right
so-
now.
Okay.
It's so weird when your
Before
stepdad's
we-
only 6 years older than you.
I know, right?
You guys don't understand. Like, sorry, real quick. I'll just say this. Before I even recorded the first episode of the shit that I'm trying to do now, I called him and asked for his quote unquote blessing because I just didn't feel right doing it unless he was informed and privy to the goal I was trying to accomplish. And he called me son, and as soon as I had that conversation with him, I went in and 2 hours later I had an episode because it felt right. So that's the kind of impact that he creates.
Right.
Before we get to a goofy question, the term you always say to me is brother. And this entire table, I have a brother, but you guys are my family.
There we go.
Thank you.
You know what? I love you guys.
You're my brothers.
I love you guys. But really all I want for Christmas is a little sister.
Oh, jeez. Working on it.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Yeah, you guys are all my brothers, and I mean it like how black people say it and how white people say it too.
Yes.
So,
All right. Finally. Paul?
If I said it like that, it'd be weird.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
our last question is from Harry Trucker.
Before we get to the question from Harry Trucker,
Yes.
I would actually like to answer that last question myself.
Oh, Paul.
oh shit.
Oh, jeez.
Here
Me,
it comes.
as
He's
a
gonna make me
bisexual male, I would like to say that John Barrowman is the man who inspires me more than any other. And I got to wave my balls in his face earlier today.
It's the best picture you guys haven't seen yet.
And now, the last question from Harry Trucker.
Look at
By the way-
Kat's Facebook page. She took a picture with him and gave him a picture of him, and he goes, "I'm hanging it in my cabin."
Nice.
And of course, John Barrowman has a cabin.
Of course he does.
If you guys don't know, follow Harry Trucker on Kickstarter because 90% of the time, if he backs something on Kickstarter, I'm going to back something on Kickstarter too.
Do it.
The man has impeccable taste and cool shit.
What's your question?
Get ready for the greatest voice ever.
All right.
Well, if you want to see that video of Paul showing his balls to John Barrowman, I got it for you.
Which angle did you get?
From about third row back.
Oh, okay.
We were hoping for Barrowman vision.
But I got a very serious question for Kerry Jackson. Where do you get your hats, and can you special order them for my giant head?
I have a haberdasher in Pasadena.
Yes. I was really hoping you would say haberdasher.
Can the episode be called Haberdasher?
I don't even know what the fuck that word means.
I always say it.
maker. It's a hat maker.
I always say it. He's not 1%, but he sure as fuck is in the top 10.
Wait. It means a hat maker? So
Here's
somebody
the thing.
haberdashed the shit, yabba dabba dooed the shit out of this shit?
Here's the thing is
And
that
you know what they
A
call a hat?
haberdasher is a hat maker.
a hat
Oh,
maker.
is habba? I thought he said yabba.
You know what they call a hat shop in England is a haberdashery.
haberdashery.
So wait, lids over at Gateway Mall.
That's a
That's
haberdashery.
Haberdashery.
That's why I got this
No.
horse.
I'm sorry. I
Yo,
hate to
I'm
break-
learning words and shit, yo.
I hate to break it to you. Lids is not a haberdashery. It's a shitty ball cap
I
shop.
thought
Bullshit. Because I got this hat made at that fucking haberdashery.
But here's the
And
thing.
my grandmother started lids, so fuck you.
Now that,
Yeah, she's the one that insisted on the fucking Z.
But that's no. Honestly, that word sounds like some absolute fucking. Like,
well,
yo,
here's the
did
thing.
you, hey, we
no,
getting
you
into
wanna
some
go to the
haberdashery
fuckerery.
tonight.
Here's the thing.
Fuckerery's down the street.
I'm gonna call it out real fast. Is that the happiest question you could have found?
Here's the thing.
Is everybody
is
just
that
sad?
That line sounds like a joke. I really do have a haberdashery in Pasadena.
And this is why he's my inspiration.
You know how I know this? Is because when you and I went to the Ant-Man junket, you came in with this case, and it's like better than my luggage where I go, and it was just one hat inside. And I go, what did you buy? A hat.
I went to Pasadena.
Yo.
There's this tiny little woman brings him his cucumber water while he's waiting for his hat to be made.
No, it's so funny. Like, I packed like 17 hats, even though I don't.
Yo, you
I
need a
was supposed to get, like,
haberdasher
4
for that
hats
much shit.
or
Oh, you guys don't get it. They weave it on his head, like while he sits
Whoa.
there, like a barber shop.
Now, the term you're looking for, Jay, is haberdasher Sherpa.
Okay.
That's
I'm trying to get into some haberdashery tonight.
Ooh.
They're not taking him to Everest.
Listen, thank you all
Thank
for
you
coming.
so much.
We love you. Thank you. I hope you had a good Comic-Con. We love you all.
We'll be right back, right? I have to pee so bad.
Oh, but we got one more, right?
Oh.
Oh,
Kerry,
no.
I was thinking.
No, that's the end of the first episode, Alicia. Thank you.